Scorching temperatures have gripped 3 of the world's continents: Asia, Europe and North America. In the US, excessive heat warnings are in place for around a third of the population. China has taken steps to limit outside work during the sweltering conditions, and the next week could bring the hottest temperatures ever recorded in Europe in a heat wave named Chiron.
A massive operation to control wildfires on Spain's Canary Islands. From above, water bombers were deployed for hours. On the ground, hundreds of firefighters joined the battle to douse the flames. The fire and thick smoke forced mass evacuations. Thousands of kilometers away, in Rome, pilgrims braved the sweltering heat for a glimpse of Pope Francis.
We were able to bear the heat only to see the Pope and take part in the Angelus. But otherwise it was unbearable, and we wouldn't have been able to wait long in this heat.
This week, parts of Italy are expected to see record-breaking temperatures as high as 48 degrees Celsius. It's prompted authorities to issue red alerts for 16 cities. While southern Europe braces for the next phase of their heat wave, an anti-cyclone dubbed Chiron, in the US, a high-pressure system known as a heat dome has taken temperatures to dangerous levels. In California's Death Valley, thermometers have been pushing well past 50 degrees Celsius. And here, in the state of Arizona, temperatures have exceeded 40 degrees Celsius for 17 consecutive days.
Heat feels like when you preheat the oven and you open it up to stick the food in, that heat coming from the oven is like the same as walking outside of your house. It's basically you're walking into an oven.
Asia too is baking under the scorching sun. In eastern and western Japan, the mercury is surging to 40 degrees. The government has issued heat stroke alerts to tens of millions of people. Climate scientists say the burning of coal, oil and natural gas is making our world hotter, and the immediate reduction of emissions is the only viable solution.
Let's get more from François Garon, a meteorologist in Paris. We heard there about the record-breaking temperatures around the world that we've just seen. Is this more El Nino at work or more climate change, would you say?
I think climate change has a big role in these events because obviously the heat domes or vast areas of high-pressure system are a common phenomenon during the summer in this region, but they are obviously strengthened and enhanced by the climate change. So what used to happen before, that there were hot temperatures in the summer, but not as hot as what we are experiencing now. So clearly climate change makes a big difference in the strength of this heat wave. So the record temperature, clearly.
Scientists say that heat waves in Europe are increasing in frequency and intensity at a faster rate than almost anywhere else on the planet. Why is that?
It's difficult to say. It maybe has something to do with atmospheric circulation and the jet stream and some specific patterns of these jet streams. So there's high upper atmosphere, strong winds. They tend to form in a particular way over Europe, and this could enhance heat domes and then heat waves. But the subject is not totally clear. I think it's really a matter of research now, so we have to dig further to be sure of that.
And in the meantime, how much of an immediate reduction in emissions would really help reverse this trend that you're talking about of more intense heat waves?
Oh, that's not really my specialty, that reduction of emission, but obviously it has to be massive because what we already have emitted is already producing a strong effect on the heat waves, and it will continue to do so for maybe the next 20 years. So what has already been done until now will have a massive effect in the coming 20 years, but what we have to reduce massively now will affect after the 20 next years. So it's very important that we act massively now to prepare a better future for the next 30, 40, 50 years.
And talking about preparations for today, for this week, what immediate and long-term impact could these heat waves actually have?
Obviously, for vulnerable people, the massive heat wave with probably near record temperatures can be very harmful. So I think the vulnerable people should protect themselves and stay in the shadow and drink a lot. And to try to cope better they can with this unbearable heat in some places. So protect themselves for now, and for long-term consequences, obviously for vegetation too. Will some probably trees will die or something like that, because that's not this particular heat wave which has terrible consequences, but the accumulation, the fact that this happens every year, and so that's really what makes the difference and really harms the vegetation, the global environment.
You heard it from meteorologist François Goron. Thank you very much for being on DW News.